So when I say that the Green Party is the party that is anti-poverty, we believe in protecting the environment. We believe in living within our means. We believe in valuing our ecology, valuing one another, local decision making, living in community. And so when we talk about poverty in these settings and we talk about food insecurity, it is important to just not throw around these terms. It is important to not just understand what they mean from a definition level, but who determines what poverty is, how do we measure poverty, and that is how we can then start to address and tackle issues around poverty and around food insecurity, and make informed decisions that will best solve these challenges. And this is day 89 of going live on the internet with you for 5 minutes or more every single day. And as you know, we believe in decisions that are made around the common good. And that is the kind of MLA that I want to be for Saint Croix because that is what we need. Now, I'm going to talk about some anti poverty measures that we have been rolling out as a Green Party and then I'll be working on as your MLA from day one. We've talked about glyphosate and we've talked about the 5 important challenges that we need to face and bring solutions to as a community for the last 89 days. But I want to focus on poverty right now because we are rolling out a green plan to bring breakfast and lunch to schools for kids. That is something that we think is very important, a breakfast and lunch program for kids. Now, what is the rationale around that? Well, this is where I want to bring some information to you, some statistics to you. We're going to get a bit in the weeds. As I mentioned, the staggering statistic yesterday: 30% of children live under the age of 18 live in food insecure households, and it is important to understand what food insecurity is, and that's why we talked yesterday about what that means. Is it's not feeling like you know where your next meal is coming from. You don't have the nutrition and the choice to fulfill your daily food needs. Now, where are we getting this idea of poverty in New Brunswick? Who measures poverty? Who determines poverty? Well, there is something called in New Brunswick, the New Brunswick Economic and Social Inclusion Corporation, ESIC for short. In 2010, the governor of New Brunswick passed legislature called the Economic and Social Inclusion Act, and that established the Economic and Social Inclusion Corporation. This is the arm of the government that makes plans to combat, overcome, and hopefully eliminate poverty. It is, of course, apolitical. It is a corporation. We believe, as the Greens, we need to support ESIC more. We need to expand its mandate, its powers. And there is a case to be made for that I want to make over the next couple of days, because of course we do meet objections about more taxpayer fund programs, more handouts, and you need to understand that whenever we talk about, for example, a breakfast and lunch program for children, it pays for itself and more. And that is what I hope to get to by tomorrow or the next day, because again, we're trying to keep this to 5 minutes. So ESIC has come out with a report. This is from January 2024. It's called Looking Back to Move Forward. It is on the screen there. And what it is the Overcoming Poverty Together plan. This is the 4th iteration of the plan coming up, because the mandate of ESIC is that every 5 years they will renew and update. So they will look back on the last 5 years of their mandate, and they will renew and move forward with a new targeted plan. Now, up on the screen here from this report that I just had on the screen is many of the initiatives that have been brought into existence by ESIC and by this plan, and many of them you'll be familiar with. if you have lived in New Brunswick for any amount of time, or have children or have family. So a great deal of work, it says, has been accomplished since OPT was first launched in 2010. And they list a few of them: social assistance reforms, Healthy Smiles Clear Vision Plan for children of families with low income. That's a vision plan, glasses and contacts and things. The New Brunswick Drug Plan, which provides drug coverage for people without a prescription drug plan. Frequent increases to the minimum wage, including indexation to the cost of living. Implementation of community transportation services across the province, development and implementation of 211 NB. If you're not familiar with that, that is a service where New Brunswickers can find information for any sort of social service they need. It's a website online. You can Google 211 NB. Promotion of financial literacy, including help with income tax filing, and over 675 community projects developed and implemented in communities. And if you're wondering for more, in that red box there, OPT aligns with the UN's 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. So this is a very important, like I said, arm of the government that is specifically making plans around alleviating poverty for the most vulnerable folks in our communities. Now, from that report, and this is why I bring it up, is because this helps us define poverty specifically. And I want you to take a look at this graph if you can. If it's on your phone, you can probably just see little lines, but I'll interpret it for you. In 2018, with the release of Opportunity for All, Canada's first poverty reduction strategy, the Market Basket Measure, or MBM, became Canada's official poverty line. So when we talk about people living in poverty, there is a way that that is calculated federally through what is called the MBM. And years ago, when I was in seminary and getting a grad degree and studying anti-poverty and working, volunteering with the Yonge Street Mission and Sanctuary downtown Toronto, we used a low-income cutoff, which is down below there, LICO. But in 2018, update, it is now the MBM, and that ESIC has adopted the MBM as its official measurement of poverty in New Brunswick, just to be consistent with Canada federally. Now, what is the poverty line? And this is where we'll end today. What is the MBM? Well, Canada's official poverty line is the MBM, and that's used as the basis for the official measure of income poverty. The MBM is calculated based on the costs of a basket of goods and services that individuals and families require to meet their basic needs and achieve a modern standard of living. So what is in that basket? There are 5 main components to the threshold. So a measurement is taken every year of the cost of food, clothing and footwear, transportation, shelter, and other crucial necessary expenses. That calculation is made, and of course, cost of living rises. But then the MBM determines who is in poverty. If your income is below that basic threshold, then you are considered living below the poverty line. And I'm going to go back to this graph now. Proportion of the population living below the poverty line in the year 2021, and this is again from the looking back to look forward that the ESIC report is drawing from here. In 2021, the percent of the population living below the poverty line in New Brunswick is 6.7%. In all of Canada, it is 7.4%, and in other Atlantic provinces, it is 8%. So as New Brunswickers, and as someone who is saying, again, it is in our common interest to make sure we eliminate poverty. There are 6.7% of our population living below the poverty line, but 30% of kids are living in food insecure households. Okay, so that is what we want to distinguish as we move forward. And tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the benefits, the irrefutable benefits of that breakfast and lunch program, and how it is a benefit for our common good, and it does pay for itself. I'm looking forward to bringing you that information tomorrow. All right, thanks. Hope you